The realisation that the world's resources are finite has led to a move towards sustainable manufacturing and greater emphasis being placed on recycling and reuse.
I mean, we are starting what we call global take-back and an environmental warranty program. And in this case, we focus very much on the countries where there are no systems, because there are already systems for collections in Western Europe and in many other places. But there are no systems in place in Asia and in Latin America. So we are focusing on rolling out our systems there.
When you get a new phone, you get an envelope to recycle your old phone. It's also encouraged in store on our website. I think the other side of it isn't just about encouraging people to get new handsets. So we do have things like the Simplicity tariff, which is SIM only, where we have actually incentivised people to also use their phones for longer.
Globally, between 20 and 50 million tonnes of electronic waste are created each year. E-waste, such as mobile phones and laptops that are no longer required, make up 5% of all municipal solid waste worldwide. This is nearly the same amount as all plastic packaging, but contains materials that are far more hazardous. This is why recycling of e-waste is becoming a critical step in the greening of the ICT industry.
In the different applications within a mobile phone, you need, for example, brominated flame retardants to prevent the mobile phones or the circuit boards or the laminates from bursting into flames. In the cables, you've got phthalates that are softeners that make the plastics in the cable soft, for example. And these are chemicals that have endocrine disrupting properties. That is, they change the hormone systems of people. They can affect reproduction, and often they are very persistent.
The US Environmental Protection Agency estimates that the recycling of 100 million mobile phones could save enough energy to power almost 200,000 households with electricity for 1 year. And if just 1 million phones are recycled, experts believe that in terms of the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, it is equivalent to taking 1,368 cars off the road for 1 year. In a 2008 survey of 6,500 people from 13 countries, Nokia found that only 3% recycle their mobile phones. According to the study, one of the main reasons people rarely recycle phones is they are simply not aware of the option, a situation that the phone manufacturers hope to remedy.
We've made a huge effort in Nokia to ensure that there is sort of a proper collection infrastructure in place in all the markets where we have our operations. So we have a take-back system that is implemented through our service centres, Nokia Care Centres, in over 85 countries.
Nokia's automated consumer recycling and self-service solution in Malaysia provides consumers with a simple and easy way to recycle their old mobile phones and accessories, whatever the manufacturer.
In kiosk has a touch screen, and all the customer need to do is to put in their details, name, their phone number, and an email address. After they input the details, there will be a barcode sticker that they have to just stick behind the device and just put recycle it into a slot, and a receipt will come out for the consumer. Nokia right now runs an incentive to the consumer called Recycle a Phone, Adopt a Tree program. After we get the details, we will send to the consumer a planting certificate, coordinates of the tree, latitude, longitudes, and they are able to view their tree in their name through Google Earth.
We estimate that between 14 to 16 million handsets are sitting around in cupboards and drawers. At least half of those don't work anymore. What we encourage people to do is to grab those, take them to the nearest mobile phone retailer, ANZ Bank, local council, and hand them in for recycling. It's a very straightforward process. Each collection box comes in, it's had as an identifier, it's weighed to see how much materials have been received. Then the materials are, the mobile handsets are pulled out and separated into their different components. Up here in Sydney, we separate out the batteries from the accessories and the chargers and the handsets. They're then bulked up into large bins, like the one I'm standing next to, and then shipped down to Melbourne, where then they're accumulated with our other collections in Melbourne. And in the case of batteries and our circuit boards, they're shipped to Korea, where they're processed for the precious metals such as gold, silver, copper, nickel in the battery casings, cobalt, and also cadmium.
Refurbishment is an alternative, with many old products sent to developing countries.
You'll actually save $670 just in energy alone in reusing a computer, rather than in purchasing a new one. Now, a computer that may not be the latest and the greatest can easily serve other types of population, and even in developing nations where they want to just set them up into a basic school environment, and kids want to use them for mathematics, for flashcards, for learning how to use a mouse and to actually get used to technology. So the $670 is just the energy portion. In the United States, in California here, that's about 10 months of the average electric bill. It's also equivalent to taking one car off the road for 6 months. There's, along with the $670 savings in energy, there's the savings in water pollution and air pollution, and the materials are being reused.
We know that there's very big demand in the developing world for simple SMS-capable phones in, say, Africa. Huge, huge demand for these simple devices that have amazing impact on lives there. And so there's a major market for under $20 mobile phones in all of Africa, as far as we know, and in most of Asia.
More than 4.6 million tonnes of e-waste ended up in US landfills in 2000. Chemical toxins leach into the land over time or are released into the atmosphere, harming local communities and the environment. In Europe, regulations like the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Directive have been introduced to prevent the dumping of e-waste in landfills. Of course, the alternative is to stop it before it starts. Now, one such idea is the universal phone charger.
And you and I all have closets full of chargers that, frankly, don't work with other manufacturers' handsets. And so we were working on this of trying to eliminate some of those chargers from our closets. And what we have now have is an arrangement whereby we literally, by specifying that every new compliant handset will have a interface which is a micro USB interface with the phone, then the plugs that are in the market, which by the way last a very long time, those plugs don't wear out very easily, is they'll be energy efficient. So we in turn reduce the carbon footprint of the consumption. All the way around, an incredibly positive message. Consumers, cost, and environmental sensitivity, and I am so proud of the industry. It's been a cross-industry agreement, and the handset manufacturers deserve great credit for doing this.